Hey everyone, today Jesus is anointed. Jesus was in Bethany visiting the house of Simon, who had a skin disease. During dinner, a woman came in with a vase made of alabaster and containing a very expensive perfume of pure nard. She broke open the vase and poured the perfume on his head. Some grew angry. They said to each other, "Why waste this perfume? This perfume could have been sold for almost a year's pay and the money given to the poor." And they scolded her. Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why do you make trouble for her? She has done a good thing for me. You always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do something good for them. But you won't always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body ahead of time for burial. I tell you the truth, wherever in the whole world the good news is announced, what she's done will also be told in memory of her." So as a preacher of the good news, I am obligated to share this story. But why? Why is this such a big deal, what she did for him? Is it about honoring Jesus and that being the most important thing? Obviously, we believe that Jesus deserves it as Lord and Messiah. In this point in the story, it is a little bit odd because, Jesus isn't somebody who goes around saying, "Hey, make sure you honor me and give me all the publicity and give me all the glory that I deserve," right? He says he's here to serve, not to be served. And as we think about this, applying it in our time, is it saying, well, it's more important to give to Jesus or give to his church than to give to the poor? That verse where Jesus says, well, you always have the poor with you. Some even read that as saying, well, who cares? They'll always be there. You can't do anything about that. Well, he's actually quoting a verse from Deuteronomy that's all about how since there are always poor people, you need to make sure you're always taking care of them. And we should probably ask, well, what really honors Jesus? Is it a fancy church building, or is it taking care of others? At least in this story, her gift really matters because she's recognizing Jesus as the Anointed One. That's what Messiah or Christ means, anointed. And instead of being anointed as the king in the temple a couple days before, he's anointed by some random woman in a random house. Maybe that's the real reason that some of his disciples are annoyed about this. See, this is the kind of king that Jesus is. He's in the home of a leper, somebody who was marginalized and excluded. And he's on his way to his death. Right? That's what he says. She's anointed him for his burial. Because the cross is where Jesus is most truly enthroned as king. Did she realize all of this when she did it? I don't know, maybe. The real question is, do we? What do we do to honor Jesus? How do we honor him? What do we honor him for? For being the king that we want him to be, or for being the king that he is? How can we pour out our love for him today? And if we anoint him as our king, how can we live as he calls us to today?